Welcome back! Today we're diving straight into episode 4 of our explainer series on the White Book, the 3D printer and biomechanical geometry. If you've always assumed language is just some random collection of grunts we humans invented to get by, well, get ready. This text is about to radically reframe how you look at human speech and the underlying mechanics of reality itself.
I want you to pause for just a second and consider a massive paradigm shift. What if every single word you speak isn't just a sound, but an actual biomechanical command being printed into physical existence? The core premise here is wild. The text argues that language was never invented by humans. Instead, it's a fundamental mathematical architecture that we simply discovered, and we're actively running it right through our bodies.
The White Book gives us a great exercise for this. Try it right now. Completely close your lips, trap the air in your mouth, and hum the letter M. Do you feel that vibration? According to the text, you aren't just making noise. You are literally trapping energy, vibrating it, and mocking up material substance right there in your flesh. The claim is that closing your lips and resonating air actually is the mathematical act of creating mass. That's exactly why words like matter, mass, mother, moon, milk, mud, they all start with M. Your mouth is actively demonstrating the word's meaning while you speak it.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll cover the 9-layer Genesis stack, then look at the biomechanical 3D printer, dive into articulation and manner, map out the 22 units of reality, and finally, look at executing the code.
Section 1, the 9-layer Genesis stack, taking us from the cosmos all the way down to the code.
To really grasp why the text calls your mouth a 3D printer, we have to look at its 9-layer architecture of reality. The book argues that reality didn't kick off with words. It started at layer 1, life and consciousness. That's the prime substrate. From there, consciousness makes choices, which generates layer 2, postulates, basically source-level commands. As those interact, we drop down into numbers, then logic, and then pure mathematics at layer 5. To interface with that math, consciousness rendered it into pictures, then written numbers, stacking all the way down to layer 8, the consonant code. Meaning every time you speak, your body is natively executing a deep mathematical logic. It's suggesting that the exact same Boolean logic programmers use in layer 9 to write silicon computer code is what your mouth has been executing since the dawn of civilization.
Moving on to Section 2, the biomechanical 3D printer, hardware versus software. So let's zoom in on the physical hardware that actually runs this 8-layer code. The text points out a massive bug in our current worldview. For centuries, we've been stuck in the old paradigm, right? Believing that physical objects are objective, and language is just a subjective, made-up tool, like we all just arbitrarily agreed to call a cow a cow. But the White Book completely flips this script. It argues that mathematics is the only truly objective phenomenon. So language, which is driven by the mathematically precise geometry of your vocal tract, is an objective code we discovered, not invented. Under this framework, you aren't throwing around arbitrary labels, you are executing precise mathematical commands.
And here's the crucial takeaway. The source posits that your mouth is an active, biomechanical 3D printer, literally the only organ capable of physically rendering mathematical intention into physical space in real time. Think about it. When you speak, you create boundaries by closing your lips. You create continuous flows by pushing air through your nose, and you radiate energy by vibrating your tongue. Your anatomy is the hardware, and the consonants, they are the software.
Let's unpack that in Section 3, articulation and manner, or biomechanical geometry. The author outlines that every single consonant you utter carries meaning across 3 geometric dimensions simultaneously. First, there's its identity, which is its invariant core meaning. Second is the articulation point, meaning exactly where in the mouth you build the sound. And third is its manner of production, which dictates exactly how the air is shaped or blocked. The book describes this as highly precise engineering.
Notice how the physical location in your mouth actually dictates the semantic domain. Sounds made at the outermost edge, the lips. They deal with boundaries. Think of B, M, and P. They manage the outer edge of a form. Now, move inward. The tongue ridge is the transitional space, perfectly engineered for marking connections, directions, and continuous flows. Letters like T, D, N, and R. And the back of the mouth, the palate, that's where you find your deep containment sounds, like C, K, and G. The text is arguing that where a sound is built physically dictates the kind of reality it shapes.
And how you produce that sound, the manner of production, matters just as much. It tells you exactly how the energy behaves.
A complete stop, where your airflow is totally blocked, like a B or a T, acts completely differently in reality than the continuous rushing airflow of a fricative like F or S. Nasals bypass the mouth blockage entirely to create this continuous resonance, while approximates create smooth, radiating waves. According to this geometry, you are quite literally sculpting physics with your breath.
Okay, section 4, 22 units of reality. The code.
What's super fascinating here is that we can catalog all these biomechanical movements into discrete executable commands. The text proposes there's an alphabet beneath the alphabet. Check out this cheat sheet of the 22 fundamental units of reality. These are proposed as the literal building blocks for every game, action, and object in existence. B means boundary. M means material substance. T is the discrete point of contact, the mark. R means to radiate outward. N is the ongoing flow, or to continue. P is to project force outward. The whole idea is that when you string these units together, you are compiling the actual code for the reality you're describing.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Are we just cherry-picking words that happen to fit? Well, the source material anticipates that and presents statistical testing across thousands of common English words. The data claims these biomechanical geometries predict word meanings with an astonishing 67 to 85% consistency. To put that in perspective, the author points out that if this were just random chance, the confidence level would only hover around 10 to 15%. But in their analysis, the letter F means flow 85% of the time. M means material 85% of the time. The argument here is simple. The code is mathematically robust.
Which brings us to section 5, executing the code. Let's run some commands.
Let's actually decompile a few words to see this running in real time. The text suggests starting with the letter B. Try making a B sound again. Close your lips, build up that air pressure right behind them, and then release. Boom. According to the book, you just mathematically created a bounded space with a purpose. And look at how this executes in English. A box is a bounded form for contents. A body is the bounded form of life. A barn is a boundary for animals, and a border is the boundary between spaces. The claim is that the physical action of your mouth perfectly mirrors the physical definition in the world.
This contrast becomes so clear when we look at how words end in this framework. Take words ending in T. The tongue strikes the roof of the mouth in a hard stop. It seals and completes the action. Night, right, thought, fight. The state is locked. But compare that to words ending in an R, where the tongue vibrates or just approaches the roof without fully closing. That means the action is radiating continuously. Fire still burns. Power still flows. A star still shines. The source is arguing that the physical geometry of that final consonant strictly dictates whether a reality is finished or ongoing.
And it gets even deeper when we decode more complex words. Take postulate, the term we used back in Layer 2 for a source-level command of consciousness. Look at the code. P is project. S is spread, T is mark, L is lateral flow, and T is mark again. So a postulate is an intention that is projected outward, spreads through the system, makes a mark, flows laterally into new territory, and marks reality again. The word literally describes its own architectural function within the Genesis stack just through its consonant code. It's like the program is writing itself.
So what's the big takeaway from this explainer? It's the White Book's core message. You are absolutely not a passenger on a random rock throwing around arbitrary labels. You are a local author of reality. The text proposes that your body is the hardware, your language is the mathematical interface, and you are writing the next iteration of the universe with every breath and every single syllable you cast into the world.
To fully wrap your head around this concept of being a 3D printer of reality, and to learn how the author decompiles the world around us, I highly encourage you to dive into the source material. Check out the White Book at meaning-unconfounded.github.io and explore their YouTube channel at Meaning Unconfounded. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. If every single word you speak is physically printing a mathematical command into existence, what exactly are you choosing to print today?